Welcome to the Retirement DNA podcast. I'm Aaron Johnson. We believe you deserve financial advice based on your best interest. In our podcast, we discuss all aspects of retirement planning. And today I want to talk about 3 opportunities that you have right now. I'm doing this in mid-December. These are opportunities that you can take right now this year, but also in this type of market, whether we're going into next year as well, and the possible recession that's coming up. So I know that there's been a lot of attention in the media, in the news that you've seen, and information that we're sending out around the possible recession in 2023 and into 2024. But we want to give some opportunities, 3 opportunities specifically, that you can take advantage of in this type of market. So when I got into the financial industry 19 years ago, they always talked about this 3-legged stool concept. And you've heard me talk about it on other podcasts as well. 2 of those legs are guaranteed types of income, right? So the 3 legs of the stool are Social Security, pensions, and personal savings. Right? 2 of those things you can't outlive, and they're guaranteed to come in every single month and can't be hurt by the market. Then you have personal savings, right? That's your CDs, your money markets, your stocks, bonds, anything, your 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs, mutual fund accounts, all of those types of things that you have saved up yourself, right? So the idea was this, right? You had 2 legs that represent guaranteed income, and ideally they would cover all, or at least the majority, of your day-to-day expenses, right? Basically your cost of living type of things. Then you would use your personal savings, your 401ks and IRAs, for all the other fun stuff, right? This is traveling. Joining your golf club, the movies, or taking grandkids to Disney World. Then a funny little thing happened. A few of these legs started to get shaky. Then one of them, for the most part, has completely gone away, and that's the pension, right? So let's talk about kind of how stable these 3 legs are. And let's start with Social Security. How stable is Social Security? And if you listen to the news, you might think Social Security is going to run out of money and they're going to have to do drastic cuts. That's not going to happen, right? The politicians know that if they make drastic changes to current folks that are taking Social Security or very close to taking Social Security, they're going to be voted out. We're not going to reelect them. And what do they want more than anything? They want to be reelected. So they're not going to change any of that. So don't listen to the media that Social Security is going away. Now, do I think that they could make changes for those that are in their late 30s, early 40s, and younger? Absolutely. And I expect changes to happen on those. Now, pensions, right? It used to be that most of corporate America and the government and city government would provide a pension for their employees. Now, most of corporate America has completely done away with pensions. And we've even seen the federal government moving away. So unless you're in the school system or in a kind of a city government, you may not have a pension any longer, right? And what corporate America started to do, and we've seen this with the federal government as well, is they said, hey, we're going to have a 401k plan for you, or a 457 or a TSP plan. You're going to put into this, and we're going to match you and give you free money that way. Now, and since 2008, 2009, we've seen some of corporate America not even match those things anymore. So now it's all your money that's going in. So now those that are retiring today, they don't have that 3-legged stool anymore. They basically have Social Security and their personal savings and no pension plan, or a very small pension. So do you think that Social Security is going to cover most people's basic living expenses? For the most part, no, it's not going to, right? If you've done a good job of having no debt, no house payment, and there are two of you that had decent salaries and incomes, yes, your Social Security might cover the majority of your basic living expenses. But for most of the people out there, it will not. So this is where opportunity number one kicks in, income planning. And because the federal government has been increasing interest rates recently trying to combat inflation, what was once cool then went away and is starting to come back is what's referred to as a personal pension plan. So this is where you would go to an insurance company and say, I've got X amount of dollars in my account. I want to give you a portion of that, of this money. And in return, that insurance company is now going to pay you and your spouse, or just you, an income stream for the rest of your life. Okay? So 10 years or so ago, you used to be able to do this, and you used to be able to say, hey, here's $100,000, and the insurance company is going to say, great, we're going to give you back $6,000 or $7,000 a year for as long as you live. And if you died young, they're going to give the balance to your beneficiaries. Then interest rates dropped, and that opportunity went away. Well, now that interest rates are back up, this is becoming a decent option again. So if you're looking for a guaranteed way to provide that third leg of the stool, this might be an option for you. Okay, it's called a personal pension plan, and there's a couple of different ways to go about doing that. And it just depends on the option that is best for you. So that's opportunity number one, income planning. Now let's talk about opportunity number two. So we've got all this doom and gloom out there. Recession is likely coming. And with all that's gone on in the market, a lot of people have moved cash to the sidelines. And that's great. And it's probably served you well. And that should be done. It's important to remove some of that money, not all of it, but some of it to the sidelines. But what's the big complaint about moving money to the sidelines and into cash? Yeah, it isn't paying much. It's not really paying anything. Sure, you can find some CD deals out there or maybe an online savings account, but typically they have a smaller maximum amount that you can put into them, or they have limited the time frame on them. But the opportunity that's come up has really only started to present itself in about the last month to month and a half, maybe 2 months. And that's because of the big decline the bonds have had and the interest rates going up. So let's say you have money that you want safe and you want it to be liquid, right? So for the last several years, really the only opportunity was money markets, maybe government bonds and some CDs, and you've been earning a whopping 0.5% to 1%. Well, now we can look at short-term, high-quality fixed income, right? So that might be treasury or corporate bonds or high yield corporate bonds, but short-term, right? So now we can do that, and we can get a 4 to 5% return on those bonds, and they are fully liquid. Now, is it as safe as a bank account? Absolutely not. Most definitely not. It is not insured. In a bank, though, you never get to see your money go up or down, right? It just sits there. There's very little fluctuation. So with this short-term bond portfolio, yes, you are going to have a little bit of fluctuation to it. You might be down 1% one month, and the next month you might be up 2%, but not very much. It's very stable. But if we can earn 4 to 5% on that money until markets turn around, that's not a bad idea, right? There are also MYGAs, which are essentially CDs, but a CD alternative. So just like a CD, these MYGA fixed annuities have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7-year time frame, and you give your money to the insurance company, and they say, great, we're going to hold on to this, and for the next 3 years, you're going to make 3.8 or 4%, whatever it might be at the time. Then when your term is done, you take the money, and off you go. just like a CD, but they may have a little bit more liquidity than a CD does without penalties. So the next that's opportunity number 2 is making some of your safe money earn something. So the next opportunity for this year, for this tax planning year, would need to be done fairly quickly. And hopefully you've been doing this all along. But it's tax planning, right? So not only for 2022, but keep this in mind for 2023, 2024, and beyond. Taxes are a big deal, and we spend a lot of time talking about them. When markets are going up and your IRAs are going crazy and all of your accounts are up and are growing, most people we talk to aren't all that concerned about the markets dropping at that point, right? But if you're in the required minimum distribution phase and you've hit age 72 or started when you were 70 and a half, now you're concerned, my goodness, look how much they've gone up. Now what is my required distribution going to be, right? Now that they're that much bigger, you're going to have to pay ordinary income on the growth that you've had through your required distribution. But when markets are crashing, right, they start to forget about the tax person. And I'm here to tell you that there's no better time to focus on taxes than when the market is down. So here we go. Here are a few things that we can talk about. First, many of you have money in after-tax accounts, right? Non-IRA accounts. So it could be money that maybe you sold a property and you're investing the money. Maybe you inherited money, or maybe you just had extra money that you were saving and you do a good job of saving and you've started a brokerage account with some mutual funds or some stocks. Those are non-qualified, non-IRA brokerage accounts. And you've done a good job maybe saving some of that. And this is where I'm going to kind of rank advisors of how well they monitor their clients' accounts. So if I'm going to give this advisor a C grade. So if they just tell you you've got your mutual fund account and you just need to buy and hold and let it sit there and watch it grow and go up and down with the market with it, that's a C advisor, okay? They don't even know what tax harvesting is, and they're not going to tell you about it. So if you've just got mutual funds that you've been buying and holding for years and years and years, you need to change advisors. If you, a B advisor knows what tax harvesting is, but they wait until December to give you a phone call and say, hey, we need to start harvesting some of these gains or losses to offset one another to help you on taxes, right? Then we get to A advisors, and they don't wait until the end of the year. They're looking at tax planning and the tax harvesting throughout the whole entire year, right? Studies have actually shown that a big chunk of the benefits are lost if you wait to tax harvest until the end of the year, right? This is something that advisors should be looking at every 1.5 to 2.5 months throughout the course of the year, right? And we do this on a scheduled basis. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe you don't necessarily have losses or gains that you need to offset during the year at that point. But we need to be taking a look, and your advisor should be doing that. And by doing this, they have actually found that will save the client on average 1 to 2%, depending on your tax bracket, per year in taxes. So guess what? That basically just pays your advisor fee right there in the tax money that they saved you, if not more than that, right? So if you've got accounts, non-IRA accounts that I would say are $100,000, $200,000 and up, you should be doing this, right? But here's the thing. So if you're managing money yourself, you probably aren't doing this. We find that the majority of people that self-manage their taxable accounts are not tax loss harvesting, and they're leaving a lot of capital gains to be paid on the table. The other thing is if you've got mutual funds, you may have experienced where your mutual fund spit off a capital gain that you've got to pay taxes on, but you actually had a loss that year, right? Don't let that happen. those accounts need to become more tax efficient. Tax opportunity number 2, when markets are down, there is no better time to convert to a Roth IRA. So what you're doing is basically moving money from an IRA that, let's say, was $100,000 and is now $75,000 because the market's down. It can then be moved to the Roth IRA, and now when the market comes back and gains back to $100,000, now that $25,000 gain is all tax-free. You never have to pay taxes on it again. But you do have to pay taxes when you move the money to the Roth IRA, right? There's the catch. The IRS is going to get theirs at some point. So would we rather pay on the smaller amount or on the bigger amount, right? It's being taxed on the seeds or on the harvest, and we want to be taxed on the seeds. Obviously, we want to pay the tax on that smaller account balance. All right, so today we've talked about creating that income, that third-legged stool, and creating that pension plan. If you don't have this leg, now might be a good time to create it. Second, we talked about cash on the sidelines. If you've got cash sitting on the sidelines that you eventually want to put it back into the market, now might be a really good time to get 4 to 5% in a pretty stable investment. Then the third opportunity is taxes. And as you know, we talk about taxes a lot. And this is a really good opportunity for you to do tax loss harvesting in non-IRAs, but also do Roth IRA conversions, right? Because maybe you've got some big gains in some holdings and you've got losses in others. Now you might be able to offset some of those gains. And this is something that should be done throughout the whole entire year, as I mentioned, not just at the end of the year. While markets are down, it's a good time to do those conversions and to do that tax loss harvesting. Again, paying taxes on the smaller amount, not the larger amount. So how do you do all of this? How do you know where to start, right? How do we get this done efficiently and tax efficiently? Give us a call and we can help you get it done in a tax efficient manner. And some of the above may not even apply to you, right? But let us help you find that out. Our goal at the Dwayne Johnson Group and Bridger Financial Services is to make sure that our clients know that they can make it to and through retirement and can spend with confidence during those years. We want to make sure that they have financial security in any economy. Thank you for listening to the Retirement DNA podcast today. If you have any questions or would like to sit down with us for a free consultation or to see if you're on track to meet your secure retirement, give us a phone call. Our number is 951-244-6702. Again, that's 951-244-6702. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to the podcast. Please let your friends and family know. We also have a YouTube channel that you can check out. Just search for Dwayne Johnson Group, where we do educational videos and some different examples. But also check out our websites, DwayneJohnsonGroup.com and BridgerFinancialServices.com. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Investment advisory services offered through Bridger Financial Services, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of California. Insurance products and services are offered through Dwayne Johnson Group, LLC, affiliated company. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Dwayne Johnson Group, LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Dwayne Johnson Group, LLC.